three different topics for a total budget of 1.3 billion euros. In topic 1, we have a budget of 600 million. This is purely for the production of LNFP of hydrogen, so renewable fuel of no biological origin, and there is no restriction on the off-takers of this hydrogen. We have a second topic, and this is new for this year with a budget of 400 million euros. And this is a combination of this renewable hydrogen and electrolytic low carbon hydrogen as defined in the delegated act, meaning that we open the door to have also other type of hydrogen, which is not from renewable sources in line with the delegated act of the definition of an energy of hydrogen. I will go more in details after in the slides, and there is no off-take restriction also under this topic. And we have a last topic, topic 3, which is also for a budget of 300 million for both type of hydrogen, so MFBO and electrolytic low carbon hydrogen, and there is a restriction on the off-takers, meaning that this hydrogen will be consumed for aviation and maritime off-takers. Okay, there are several eligibility conditions for this auction call, so the project should be located in the UEEA, no virtual production is allowed. The store capacity is to be a minimum 5 megawatt electric capacity in a single location, so no virtual capacity pooling is allowed. The projects must also limit the sourcing of the electrolyzer and its components from China. The off-takers, as I mentioned before, there is only restriction under the topic 3 maritime and aviation. On the other two topics, there is no restriction. The bid ceiling price is fixed as a maximum of 4 euros per kilo of LNFBO and or electrolytic low carbon hydrogen. And there is not a maximum size of ramp per topic, so the project can apply for the maximum capex, the maximum budget of the topic. There are some key implementation arrangements that the project should respect. We have the project needs to reach financial close in 2.5 years after signing the grant agreement. There is a very specific definition of financial clauses, so I suggest the participants to really read carefully the context and to go into the details. Entry in operation of the facilities should be within the 5 years after signing the grant agreement. To avoid that we receive speculative bidding projects, we have a completion guarantee fixed at 8% of the total request grant. And this guarantee will be covered until entry in operation. So the project failed to reach financial close on entry in operation within the time limits that I explained before. The project will be terminated and the granting authority will call the guarantee. So we want to implement this measure to be sure that we receive serious projects and very advanced and mature projects. There are no payments in these grants until the project starts operations. So we pay after the entry in operation, we pay on a biannual basis based on the volume they produce. So we pay the bidding price multiplied by the kilos they produce in that period, and they will be paid based on this certified and verified quantities of hydrogen for a maximum period of 10 years. There are some flexibility requirements for the production, so in these payments the project can produce a higher rhythm than its planned, so we can pay until 140% of the planned production, and the project should should not fail of less than 30% of the planned production for more than 3 years in a row. If not, the project might be terminated because they have not reached the objectives. There is also the compliance with the criteria during implementation for the topic 3, which have this restriction on the off-takers. So we monitor during the full project life that the off-takers belong to these two sectors, aviation and or maritime. And the project will be also monitored on the resilience criteria, meaning that electrolyzer sourcing are coming for a limited from China, and the certification that at least 70% of the GHG emission savings are consistent after during the all overall production. There are some also in the option, the accumulation with public funding, it's allowed, but it's very limited, so some specific cases that I will present later. What is new this year, as I mentioned, is that we open the hydrogen option as well for electrolytic low carbon hydrogen. This is following the adoption of the delegated act, which provides methodology for to certify and verify the adoption of this low carbon hydrogen. And this type of hydrogen is eligible under topic 2 and topic 3 only, and for topic 1 it will be only LNFPO hydrogen. Okay, if the projects apply under topic 1 and they produce some quantities that are not in compliance with LNFPO, they will not be paid for that quantities. The definition of this low carbon hydrogen is specified in the delegated act in the Directive 1788. That means the hydrogen means hydrogen, the energy content of which is derivated from non-renewable sources, which meets the greenhouse gas emission reduction threshold of 70% compared to the fossil fuel comparison. So the project needs to be sure that they reach this minimum 70% GHG emission savings. Okay, the Biden price is exactly the same, so we will cover if you apply under topic 2 and 3, so for both electrolytic low carbon hydrogen and LNFPO hydrogen, the bidding price will be the same for both. At the application stage, the applicants should provide electricity sourcing strategy, demonstrating that the project will be able to produce this low carbon hydrogen with the installed capacity that they are proposing in the proposal, and will comply with this threshold of the 70% GHG emission savings. Okay. During the implementation, the sub-volumes of electrolytic low carbon and LNFPO can vary. So this portion of different hydrogen might vary during the lifetime of the project, but the project needs to respect always the total volume production. Again, the payments will be only received as the same as for the LNFPO upon certified and verified volumes. For the low carbon hydrogen, voluntary schemes are expected to be ready by during this year, 2026. We have a new resilience, we have adapted resilience criteria. Last year it was already in the coal test, but now in this year is fully aligned with the NCEA, which is the Net Zero Industrial Act, that creates a reference for pre-qualifying for the deployment of energy from renewable sources, including the resilience contribution for the criteria for the electrolyzers. So in practical, what this means for this option goal is that at least 75% of the electrolyzer included in the project must be originated in a project in a country different than China. For those 75%, it means that the stacks of the electrolyzer, which is a critical component, must be originated in a country different than China, and no more of the two main specific components might be originated in China, a part of the stacks. This is a simplification as well from last year, so also for the ISO standard, last year we asked the projects to provide a self-declaration that they will comply with the ISO standard, but this is not anymore required, and the information required as well from the electrolyzer manufacturer to be provided at the submission stage is also simplified. For instance, we don't ask this year information about the critical raw material content of the electrolyzers. So we have done this simplification. As well for the cybersecurity requirements, and have also full aligned with the NCEA. The project needs to comply still with the security by design requirements. Operational control of the installation should be established in the EEA, and the data store also and process should be established in the EU. Also, just a small reminder that the existing rules under the foreign subsidy regulation, state aid and trade defense instruments are still in practice in this code. This new topic, topic 3, aviation and maritime topic. Last year in the last call we have also the maritime topic. This year we open it as well for aviation. In line with the Sustainable Transport and Investment Plan, which was adopted in November last year, 2025, that announced that the European Hydrogen Bank, the Innovation Fund under the European Hydrogen Auction will dedicate 300 million euros for the topic 3